If I've ever been on a stream with you.
So Beckman, I don't think so, bro.
Yeah.
So far.
So I've been on a.
Everybody's been real nice.
Well.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
100.
Damn.
Hey everybody, we're here. It's Thursday night. It's Wrestle Talk. As always, Pop, me, Biggie, Alan, and this week we've got the real James Willie. We're here to talk wrestling. James, since it's your first time on the show, why don't you just take a few minutes and let us know what's your connection to pro wrestling?
Oh man, so all right, so since I've been a little kid, probably about 4 or 5 years old, I remember watching wrestling, and like my aunt used to live out by there used to be a wrestling called All Star Wrestling in the early 80s. That was actually filmed just locally, probably like maybe a 10-minute drive from my house where I live currently right now. But I used to live in the city, and I'd come out and see my aunt, and sometimes my aunt would take me. And then also too, like I'd watch wrestling with my aunt when I was really young, and then it just from there. I've watched wrestling since the 80s, and as you can see, obviously with the belts, and I'm always rocking wrestling shirts, and I just love wrestling. It's good times. I used to be in like a semi-amateur wrestler when I was like in high school. My uncle was the coach of Team Canada's Olympic wrestling team. He also trained John Tenta, aka Earthquake. Yeah, so other than that, I just watch wrestling as much as I can. My wife and I watch it with our daughter. She's not into it as much, but she loves watching The Rock and Fruity Pebbles.
So are you just WWE, or do you watch AEW?
No, I watch everything, man. AEW, WWE, not so much TNA anymore. MLW when I can.
Yeah, when I can too. Hard to catch, for me at least. Unless mainly online.
Yeah, I'll watch it all, whatever I can get.
Well, all right, man. Welcome to the show, and we'll get started with Pop's questions. This week, Pop wrote the questions because I'm a lazy turd. Let's see. So for our first one, we've got a pay-per-view this weekend. If everybody just wants to go around the horn, Pop, you type out yours as usual. Just anything you're excited for Elimination Chamber. And I'm going to pull up the card to read because I don't always remember it. All right, let's start with Alan. You want to start us off?
Sure. So we're going to Perth this Saturday. I won't watch it until Saturday night, Sunday morning, because that's early as crap, and I'm not getting up.
What time are they showing it? 5 a.m., right?
I think it's 5 a.m. Well, it's live, so it's 5 a.m. Eastern.
So 4 a.m. my time.
Yeah. I'm not getting up. I'm just gonna, because I have Peacocks. I'll just watch it. I'll just watch a rewind. They got the Elimination Chamber. I think they got something brewing with Drew McIntyre. I think it's it's him. I think he's going to take the men's Elimination Chamber, and honestly, I don't know who's going to win the female. That's going to be up in the air. I mean, what's her name? Nia Jax or whatever came in and just sat on everyone on Monday night. So
I believe it's pronounced Refrigerator Jax.
Refrigerator Jax. Well, I mean, I don't like her, but she's got no talent, like none.
But she's The Rock's cousin, and she gave us a very viral video when she screamed, "Oh my hole."
Oh my hole. But she's got to play. She's facing Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley will find a way, beat her, and I just don't know who the female is going to come in out of that. I think with Drew McIntyre is like leading into winning that Elimination Chamber match. And he's going to beat Seth Rollins.
He'll beat Rollins at WrestleMania?
He'll beat Rollins at WrestleMania because Rollins is going to be too worried about protecting Cody.
And still hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in real life, he has a knee injury.
Yeah.
I don't know what his status is going to be at WrestleMania. I know he plans on wrestling, but who knows what kind of shape the guy's in. All right, Biggie?
So, I'm so disgusted that CM Punk is just out, you know, and Seth Rollins, I don't know much about the Elimination Chamber, I'll be honest, but the thing that I've seen recently, I've been most invested in is the what's her fucking name, the AJ Lee little thing going with her crew. Seems interesting enough. Are they going to be in the pay-per-view or?
AJ Lee.
It's not AJ Lee. The smiley chick. The smiley chick. You know, the one that used to give all the hugs.
Bayley.
Oh, Bayley.
Yeah, Bayley. Is she gonna be doing shit? That's like what I saw.
Spot.
No, she's in WrestleMania against what's her name? The other chick that was in her group that broke up.
Yeah. Io Sky.
Io Sky, that's it.
She's going for Io Sky's title. The Women's Elimination Chamber is Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Raquel Rodriguez. And I would just like to say real quick, Raquel Rodriguez, how is your whole gimmick just showing people your back muscles?
So I'll tell you the truth, Becker. This week I've been in a funk and I haven't watched much of the highlights. I watched the SmackDown Rock promo, and I watched a little bit of the Bayley shit, and I've been just watching old wrestling. So I'll comment on some of the Sting stuff later. I'm gonna pass on this.
Real quick, let me just run down a list of the men in the Elimination Chamber and see if anybody stands out to you, because you usually have pretty good picks, even if you're not like watching every single match or anything. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul. Who do you have winning the Elimination Chamber for the men?
I mean, I think that the best option that I would want in it isn't in it, which would be AJ Styles. But if I'm going to have to pick out of those guys, I think the best way to go, they should go with Orton.
Yeah, if Drew McIntyre doesn't win, I think Orton's the pick.
Okay.
He's the only one that seems to be getting the big push right now.
I would say he would definitely put on a good match in WrestleMania. That would be a good for your card kind of character. Mm-hmm. LA Knight, man, that's a fart in the wind, bro. I'm not into that. Kevin Owens, like best days are not much of LA Knight guy. Drew McIntyre's too reckless. He's why we don't have Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So, well, maybe not Seth Rollins, but Punk at least. So, I don't know, man. I just like Randy. I think Randy deserves it.
All right. Well, Real James Willie, Elimination Chamber.
So for the women, I'm gonna have to go with Becky Lynch. I think that we're going to get a little bit of a return. It's not even a little return. I think we're going to get a really big return at Elimination Chamber. I think, honestly, that Alexa Bliss is going to come back.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know if you guys have been watching NXT, but there's been a lot of vignettes going on with words and wordplay that's been on there, and a lot of people don't. Do you guys watch Dreadmere?
Mm-mm.
Oh, really? Yo, go check it out. So that's Bo Dallas's page.
Oh, okay.
So, to my knowledge, I believe NXT is going to get the Wyatt Six. And then, but the Y6 isn't going to be exclusive to NXT. I think it's going to branch over all of, NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. They're going to have
they could use a new power group.
Multiple characters. Yeah. And characters that we wouldn't expect to be part of their group. So I think that's going to be a swerve there. As far as the men's Royal Rumble goes, I'm pretty sure Drew McIntyre is going to win it. Just because of the way his character's going. And then I think it's going to lead into WrestleMania. Just like in Perth, do you all think that The Rock's actually going to show up?
I don't at this point. It wouldn't mean too much if he did, would it?
Well, if you're brand pushing, yes, because it's your first time in Australia.
Yeah. And what would you do with him?
Because of the fact that you wouldn't expect it at Perth, Australia. You know what I mean? Well, you just have them do whatever. Maybe have them talk some stuff, like he said, and then they come out.
Because Roman's not there.
I did notice when he said the tribe or whatever he said me and Roman, and Uso looked at him like, huh? And they left him and the other guy out, so that was kind of weird.
Well, and if you go back and watch that promo too, he's like, Rock was pointing at Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
When he was talking about making somebody lose. And if you go back, I don't know if you guys watched the Pat McAfee interview that The Rock did. He laid it all out. He laid it all out, man. If you listen to him, his wordplay, he laid it all out that they want to do something big and they want to do something different. He explained why Cody never got the belt last year. I think he's laying out the foundation for what's gonna, we're gonna see it this WrestleMania finally, but I think it's gonna be totally different. I think you're gonna get a tag match maybe night one, and then where both champions are involved, and then they're gonna have to defend on night two, and that's why they're both gonna lose their belts, because they're gonna be fatigued and tired per se. But, it's going to be good to watch them go down to Australia.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of all that, let's go into our next topic. Pop, I didn't see you type anything on this one. I think I know who you're pretty much Drew McIntyre's winning and Becky Lynch. Are those your picks? I think it is pretty obvious. Pop said earlier it's too predictable. This just feels like a filler pay-per-view at this point. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about The Rock, because he has gone full heel. He is insulting audiences. He's doing his thing. Let's just go around the horn and get everybody's thoughts on how you feel that's going. I personally, I'm coming around to it this week. I didn't like it at first. It seemed kind of obvious that this is a last minute adjustment, but now this week was better. I feel like now I'm getting back into it. I'm remembering what a heel Rock is like. Alan,
I think he's going to turn good at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be that quick, and what'll happen is that he's still going to be somewhat of a heel, but he's going to be against Roman Reigns. I think he's actually going to cost Roman Reigns the title at WrestleMania.
I don't know about that one. That's interesting.
I think he's going to turn and stay heel because, honestly, whether you liked it or not on SmackDown, the fans reacted. They reacted to him calling them trailer trash.
Yeah. Oh, he was getting booed.
Yeah, well, boo him, cheer for him. It doesn't matter. They're still reacting, and that's what they want. That's what they want, and there's still going to be people out there that like it and love it.
Yeah, And he gets the Cody chants and everything.
Yes.
Biggie, heel Rock. What do you think?
Oh, I like heel Rock, by the way.
Well, I got to say I'm disappointed because Alan beat me to it. I like saying things first. But I agree. I think there's a high % chance he's going to turn good and he's going to like team up with Cody. And that's maybe why Cody said, I'm taking everything from you. It's very, very weird the way things are working. Whenever Rock pointed at Roman wasn't looking at him. Just a lot of subtle things that are looking like whenever Rock came out and Cody was in the ring and Rock bogarted his way in, he was talking to Cody and people were gossiping and saying maybe that's what he told him is I'm going to take Roman down or something or help you take Roman down. So I'm not like gushing all over myself with The Rock. I think it's we're going to be talking about The Rock for a while, obviously, because it's the main thing going on. Am I enjoying it? Until I see him wrestle a little bit, I'm not going to get too happy with just the little promos and shit like that. And
it was do something.
Yeah, it was okay, but like I want to see Cody smack the shit out of Rock. How good would that be? Like, you're a wrestler. You could take a smack, Rock. Take a smack. You know how much heat you would get? You know how much positive media would come from that? It would be beautiful. Is Rock going to do that? No, because he's got too much freaking ego and he's too big of a hot shot, you know? So Rock's just there for himself, dude. I'm not worried about Rock.
James? And real quick, Cali Comics said heel Rock is fun. Pop said winners are sorry to step on you, James.
No worries.
Pop says Becky, Drew, Rhea, Judgment Day keeping titles. And then all The Rock is doing is filling the Mike Tyson role when Mike refed Shawn versus Austin. Okay. Sorry about that, James. You go.
No worries at all. Well, so this last week we got to see The Rock do that promo, talked all that stuff, said the bloodline, you know, and then it cut off. So I have a person that I seen who had footage of what happened after Raw. So what happened after was everybody left except for The Rock. The Rock then started signing autographs, shaking hands at ringside. I think I think that we all know what's up. And I have a feeling that we're going to get maybe Rock as a special enforcer for the match to make sure that the bloodline don't interfere. I'm not sure how we're going to get there, but I do have a feeling that they'll try to do what they did for WrestleMania 1, though, because the main event for WrestleMania 1 was a tag team match, right? With all epic people. So I think you do that, you run that, like I said, night 1. But then you got the conflict of, like, then you can't have the women's title as the main event on night 1. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn, right? I can see what stories that they're going towards, and I think it's really dope. I hope that we do see new members of the bloodline. And I also think that there's been a plant in the bloodline for quite a while working for The Rock.
Really? And who do you think that is?
I think he has a really hard thumb.
Okay, Solo.
So I got one more thing before we finish, or he finishes. I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in. Shit, now I forgot it. Sorry, too many.
I'll interrupt you. I forgot.
Hold on. Damn, it was on the tip of my tongue. I'll remember in a minute. All right, you can continue on. Forget I said anything. I'm sorry. I'll remember.
You know, so like I hope. Well, that's what I hope anyway. I hope that it's not going to end up being like you know, The Rock just fades away after a couple of appearances again. Because from what I heard, he's got a couple of indie shows. Not indie shows, but like house shows that he's going to be doing. So to me, that sounds like he's going to be here for a little bit. And I think because he's on the board, they need to be, he's going to be representing, obviously, because it's probably part of his contract. Like, you're going to build it up.
Right.
What's the best way to
what's
do it?
their investment in him at this point? I mean, a lot of money, over $30 million. And
well, don't kid yourself. I think The Rock has been secretly doing a lot of moves behind the scenes, because now think about it. He went from being a wrestler to now he owns the XFL and he owns a piece of TKO, which owns WWE and UFC. I think he's one of the silent owners too at TKO. Like for
he's a board member, so he definitely has to have some level.
Yeah, and so I think that he's been whispering in the right people's ears because he knows a lot of people with a lot of money, right? And he does, like, whatever Rock touches usually is gold, with the exception of, for whatever reason, Black Adam. And I don't get that because I love that movie. I didn't know anything about Black Adam, really, to be honest with you, before. I'm not very big on DC except for Batman and not really even Superman.
I didn't hate it either.
I didn't think it was a bad movie. But then again, I thought Miss Marvel, the TV serial, wasn't that bad either, as I watched it with my daughters. So, I mean, apples and oranges, right?
Yeah, I got my thing. I remember. Okay, so I wanted to point out to the chat, maybe some people on the panel. I just found this out. I don't know how important it is, but so I thought Cody's story was just this Roman Reigns crap. I heard like the intensive story now. So the story is Dusty Rhodes won the heavyweight championship in an over-the-top rope contest, and it immediately got took from him. And Cody bought the belt and brought it to Vince the first time he met him, and he said, I want the belt that Roman has. That's the story. So I just wanted to point that out if someone didn't know that.
To get the belt back that they stole from his daddy in the garden.
Right.
Yeah. And technically his dad has had the big gold belt already.
He has, yeah. All right. I just want to say hi to TM Nerdy. And yes, I've been working on this while we've been talking. TM Nerdy shipped me books in the most frustrating way possible. Every single book I picked up from him is taped to another book. So he wrapped them in twosies. So everybody say hi to TM. He's a joker there. I told him this morning it was essentially he made me exercise, and I'm furious. But anyway, back to wrestling talk.
Fellow Canadian.
Yeah. So you're up in Canada, James?
Yeah, I'm close. I'm West Coast. I'm like an hour out of Vancouver, BC, which is like West Coast. Yeah.
Did you end up getting that book that I had, the Oak Willie book?
No, I don't think so.
You did the Wild Oats Willie. I remember I was in an auction. You was, I gotta have that. And I think I either sold it to you or something. Never mind. If you would maybe remember, it's like a brown cover, skinny guy on a unicycle.
I may have. Sounds like something I would, but I don't even buy.
Okay. It was funny as hell, but we'll continue with wrestling. Sorry to interrupt again.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, so on a side note, when I was a child, I forgot to tell you guys this when I was younger. So do you guys have Fuddruckers, the restaurant down in the States?
I've heard of
Okay,
it.
so we used to have one here. And I must have been about 8 or 9 years old at the time, maybe even 7. But I was having dinner at Fuddruckers, and who was sitting there was in his outfit with his title belt was IRS with his tag belt having dinner.
Erwin R. Shyster?
Yeah, he broke character, let me sit on his lap, hold the belt. I got to take pictures. And I remember him telling me about his son that he had just had like recently, which obviously was Bray, right? So like, and that was like when I was really, really, really
that's cool. That's really cool.
I got to meet Hogan and them too here. Big man Hogan.
Wow.
All those guys. Who else was a Honky Tonk Man? Greg Valentine, Coco Beware.
Now you didn't stalk him at the airport, did you?
No, I seen him at a casino. I was like, to be honest with you, it was probably one of the most disappointing not meeting Hogan, but just the disappointment of like, you see him on TV, and I'm not saying that I'm a really big dude. Like I'm 5'11" and, you know, just over 215 pounds, 220, right? So, but back like then when I met him, like he wasn't that much bigger. Like he was thicker, right? But like standing beside him, you're just like, wow, he's just like a normal dude, right? It's just Hogan, right? Side note.
I don't know. He's a pretty big dude, though.
He was his torso was definitely a little more normal size in the mid '90s than it was the '80s. Like if you met him in the '80s, you'd be like, "Oh my god, it's Incredible Hulk."
We're talking like me. This was like 10 years ago. I met him.
Oh yeah.
You know, old man Hogan, but it's just like it's just like you see him on TV, and even now, like you see him on TV, and he's larger than life still. You know, and then you meet him in person, you're like, shit, man, you're only a little bit bigger than me, bro. You know.
All right, what has Pop got up next? Up next is an AEW stop-in. We're going to talk about Darby Allin's promo, because we've been gone for 2 weeks. Darby had a promo where he really kind of said the quiet part out loud and talked about how the Bucks have ruined the experiment of AEW and run off the stars and give their friends all jobs. Because let's face it, you know, in what world does a guy like Evil Uno make, you know, 6 figures a year in guaranteed salary to wrestle for anybody's company? And if you don't know who Evil Uno is, go Google him.
He makes 6 figures, bro?
Yes.
No.
All those guys.
Well, no, because the Dark Order, they probably share percentage of, everything coming in.
Well, and Tony pays salaries, and we know this from guys.
That's just salary. That's gross.
Tony pays salary. He doesn't do freelance. He doesn't pay you by the show or whatever.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. I mean, he's the guy you'd want as a boss, but at the same time, if your interest is to see a viable, because here's the thing, Pop and I both have talked about this. When I met Pop, he was already down on AEW. I have become down on AEW. I don't want them to fail. I want them to be better. I want there to be another product to make WWE try. WWE is the worst when they have the least amount of competition. And they get better when somebody tests the waters. You know what I mean?
I don't know. See, like I'm impartial because I'm totally not a TNA guy. I was, back when the Aces and Eights, and then it kind of faded afterwards, when all the bigger names left, and it was just kind of
it was
jobbers wrestling jobbers, and then now they're trying to bring it back, but now they're bringing back
it's gotten better.
Old jobbers. They
don't have any star power left.
No.
Everybody's gone. Scott D'Amore is out.
Well, I've talked about this before, and without Cody, they're not the same.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that they're they were pushing MJF to be their heavyweight champ, and I love MJF, but he's not the heavyweight champion of their wrestling federation. There's multiple other people that were way better wrestlers, and I figured draws, but I think that's where they're lacking is the storytelling aspects. Because I'm not really interested in half of the stuff that you're doing right now, like the Swerve Strickland with what's his name there when they're fighting Hangman Page, or when he's fighting
the sensitive cowboy.
Yeah, or when he's fighting other homeboy there from Dean Ambrose.
God.
Those matches are savage and great.
That guy legitimately looks like he has jaundice at this point.
John.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that he used to drink a bottle before each show.
He looks worse than when he drank. Now, sober John Moxley looks less physically impressive than he did a few years back when he entered AEW and was supposedly drinking all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Which I believe him. I'm sure he was, but he was a lot more jacked than he is now.
Well, you gain a lot more weight when you're drinking a lot more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
liquid pork chops aren't real pork chops.
there's
no protein in that beer.
It's not beer.
So, no, Alan, I'm not talking about yours. Yours whiskey. I know, probably.
Bourbon.
Bourbon, yeah.
Bourbon.
Nums.
So, Alan, what do you think of AEW and Darby Allin essentially going almost too real? Like, he didn't acknowledge any of the storylines they were doing. He basically just did a shoot interview where he cut the Bucks off at the legs and said, you guys just hire your friends. You turned this into all friend wrestling. You ruined our mission statement.
Well, I mean, that's pretty ballsy to, chop at the legs or chop the hands off that are feeding you. I mean,
they're not really feeding them. They didn't hire him and they didn't re-sign him. Cody Rhodes hired him. Tony Khan re-signed him. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like
can
this
fire him, right?
EVP thing.
Like the people that own AEW can fire him now, right?
Well, Tony Khan's the only one who can fire anybody at AEW. So the Jacksons are real life EVPs. But if you were going to do this storyline, the time to do it was when you had real life animosity with CM Punk. You put him and FTR together. The Bucks grab Kenny Omega, and you guys have a trios match.
Yeah,
but they didn't do that because they're chicken shits, and they'd rather sit in the back and run their mouth about everybody. They drove Cody off. We have to believe that at this point. Cody didn't leave because he was having a great time there. He left because those two insincere dicks plotted against him at every turn and tried to make the show all about their friends.
Vince, being the narcissist he was a great, great businessman. I think we can all agree that part of it, and is a great businessman for wrestling.
So he didn't hire his friends.
Oh, hell no, he didn't hire his friends
until later in life.
Yeah, he hired his
had yes men. He had yes men that did.
Yeah,
that.
he had yes men.
Yeah, he didn't want anybody challenging him. No. But he would have never given the Bucks the amount of money Tony Khan has given them.
Hell no.
No, definitely not. Just based on size. I mean, to be honest,
based on size
you look at the Young Bucks.
What have
you
the
put the Young Bucks
in
a match against say Brock Lesnar if he was still wrestling? I mean, 9 out of 10 times the Bucks are going to get squashed.
Yeah,
they're going to get squashed.
Look at what you're talking about. The man that sent Ultimate Warrior packing. I mean, he said, "Yeah, you're not big enough. Bye."
It wasn't that; it was other issues. But
what I'm saying is his business.
But he wouldn't have put up with the Bucks' antics and their politics.
No, I think that's where AEW has a major flaw right now. They need to correct it.
Because Tony Khan doesn't need to make money, and unfortunately seems more interested in being one of the boys than actually running a business.
If you want,
but at one point he's probably scared too. Like you gotta become a yes man to get people to play your game, and whether it's the game you want to be playing or not. You see what I'm saying? Like if he starts being hard and saying no, you're not going to get other people coming because you're not going to get the voucher of the Bucks. Unfortunately,
light up your last comment, Pop. Darby Allin straight up did a promo that got people to chant Cody Rhodes at an AEW show in 2024.
Yeah, I never seen the promo, but From what you guys are saying, it sounds like he shot it.
It was crazy.
But
he talked about like, so the one that really like, where it seemed to me that he buried his own company is he said, you know, we had this mission statement. We had a guy going around signing big names on the indies like Darby Allin and MJF, and you guys on the first night of this flagship show, Dynamite, and I didn't have a match, but Brandon Cutler did. And if you guys know who Brandon Cutler is, I'm not surprised if you don't. He literally went to elementary school with the Young Bucks, and the most he's ever gotten over was he was the guy that wore a face guard like a basketball player and sprayed cold spray everywhere.
Huh.
That's just sad.
Yeah, they gave all their buddies
against the Bucks, right? The Bucks versus Sting and Darby, right? So hear this. What if Darby's playing Sting? It's his last match. What if he's playing and he's had enough?
These young bucks are running around like Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in the 90s, bro. They think they're really that good.
I was about to get to that. I've seen this story. It sounds like the old NWO stuff, you know? That's why I said, what if it's Darby's actually going to turn? What if he joins the Bucks?
It would mean nothing.
It'd be pretty like, whoa.
I mean,
think about that would be like, that would elevate him past like him just having a match with Sting. Sting going out.
The different
NWO, you had the solidified background. Young Bucks had nothing.
Right. The NWO and the Clique are real house strollers. These guys are big time jabronis.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're too small.
And they don't make money because that's the thing, right? NWO made money.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, the Elite did draw money, but that day is gone. They're not making money like they were. They're not selling merch like they were. They certainly aren't selling pay-per-views. They're not moving the needle, and yet they're drawing big, fat contracts. Allegedly, you know, because the thing they've liked to bandy about is that right now they are the highest paid tag team in history, correct, Pop? Is that what they're telling people? They're not the highest paid wrestlers in AEW, but they're the highest paid tag team. When you put their pay together, I believe they're each getting $3.5 million.
What?
And then keep in mind, until December, Matt Buck or whatever, one of the Buckaroos, Matt, his wife was running their merch division into the ground. Now, I can say this as a person who bought tickets to go to AEW shows multiple times. Every time the merch table was a big, fat, hairy mess. I mean, it was poorly run, and she was in charge of all of it. And so how much was she making to do that? 80,000, 150? I mean, you would figure for a job like that to be the vice president of merchandising, she's got to be making low six figures for a national wrestling company.
How's your merch messed up? How? I mean,
the lines were terrible. There was one merch stand for a Kansas City show every time they came. They sold. Dumb. They only had 8 shirts the last time I was there.
8 different shirts or 8 shirts?
8 total? Different shirts.
8 different shirts. How many wrestlers they got?
Okay, I just counted last week. 130.
You have 130 wrestlers, and you only have 8.
Yeah, you haven't heard of most.
Is Christian AEW or is that TNA? Because I get confused.
Nope, that's Christian. That's AEW.
Yeah, I am so tired of that guy, dude. That is such a snore fest, bro.
You don't like Killswitch?
I don't like Christian. I don't know.
Man.
He's just annoying at this point. He looks like he's old. He looks sore and tired. And I mean, he wrestles like he's old. Like even RVD gets around better than Christian. Like whatever, man. Fuck Christian.
Dude, and God bless the company with the genius mind of Tony Khan that has a character come out onto their television show and the graphic says Nick Wayne's mom. And she doesn't even get a name. We're just going to call her Nick Wayne's mom.
Because nobody cares what her name is, man.
I get that, but that's still just terrible.
That is messed up.
They put it on mute anyway.
We knew who Judy Bagwell was.
True story.
We didn't need her on a poll, but we knew what her name was. We have derailed on AEW talk. Can we just all agree that right now their business is down?
It's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good at all, dude.
The only thing they have going for them is the fact that they put the title on Joe.
Yeah,
that is a good move.
Where are they going to go with it? It just
that is a good move.
You see what I'm saying?
You need him to carry this company for as long as
Samoa Joe is such more professional than the rest of those guys in there right now, too, man. He is doing really well, dude. I'm proud of Samoa Joe. That is a good point.
I was a little disappointed that he didn't get over in WWE. I was a little bit shocked.
Whose fault was that, James?
Well, I don't know, man. Like, even when I was watching his matches, go back and watch some of his matches. They're like, it's not that they're underwhelming. It's just that they're not up to par.
You
hear what I'm saying? Like, well. It was just like,
It was clear he wasn't happy with his role there.
It's like, oh, I can go get my tea now, you know, during that match. Or like, I have to go to the bathroom. You know, I can go sit, you know, for a couple minutes and not have to worry about that match.
All right, going back to the list of conversation points. I feel like we covered AEW pretty good. WWE not letting talent go to Sting's last match.
That
doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me, but it wouldn't surprise me if Vince was still in charge. But now that Vince is not in charge, it kind of a little weird. But I mean, come on, you're talking about an icon of.
But he's not an icon of WWE, and I think that's the big difference.
But that's WWE's fault, not. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You still got to support the entertainment industry that you are a part of. I think.
I just don't think that they were ever. You know, he fought going there for a long time because he was waiting until him coming there meant something that they were going to, because he knew Vince, if he had gone right away, Vince would have buried him. He'd have beat him like whipped cream with an outboard motor. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been bad.
Yeah, Sting was smart to handle it that way, but I'll wait my turn. I don't want to jump in here now.
It's been a while.
Okay.
Let's hear from you on this.
All right. So it's so frustrating, bro. It's like, it's part of the reason I have a vendetta against Seth Rollins, because he hurt Sting. Like, why is Sting progressing in AEW with all these slumps? You ain't getting hurt there. Why do you gotta get hurt in WWE, dude? Like, what in the hell, bro? And the whole gimmick against Triple H and all that shit. It was written down like one of my favorite matches, except for Sting lost. Like, you had Hogan, you had Scott Hall. Yeah, it was so beautiful. Loved it. But he wasn't all there. He was hurt. He had to leave early. He had to go away. Am I surprised they're not letting WWE people watch his last match? No. Am I surprised that it got brought up? No. He is a big time figure. But he's geriatric. He's old as shit. I'm surprised Ric Flair, they put an older guy beside him. It makes it even more obvious.
Some of the stuff Sting's done in the last year, though.
It's insane. It's insane.
That he should have never done. 15
I know.
years ago, he shouldn't have
done. It makes me crazy because we never got to get the whole big WWE thing, man. It makes me nuts. So I'm hoping this ain't his last match. I always hold out for you should get your last match in WWE. That's why I still root for Hogan get one. But that's just me. That's all I got.
Sting has taken people doing swantons on him off of ladders through tables. Sammy Guevara did a splash on Sting through a table.
Hey, these guys are athletically talented. They're not smart.
I just shook my head. I was like, Sting, why are you doing this? You didn't work this unsafe at the height of your career.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it in your 60s?
Because if Evil Uno is making 6 figures, then Sting is probably making at least.
Oh, I bet Sting's making $2 million.
I would do the exact same thing.
If the Young Bucks make 3.5 apiece, Sting's making $2 million.
So the other thing is too is like there's a lot of wrestlers that probably should have retired that are in AEW, and that's just because they were told, "Hey, look at this udder. Come grab this udder. There's fresh milk here," and they're all at the udder. They're all at the udder.
Hey, move Evil Uno over and
exactly
some of this. The Dork Order making any money, like even if John Silver's only making 80 grand a year, that's still offensive to me.
Who looks better older, Dustin Rhodes or Sting? I know Sting's getting more action, but the little bit that Dustin does, dude, he's looking cleaner than he's ever done.
Dustin looks better. I think Dustin moves better.
Dustin looks good, but I mean, you can tell that he's definitely had his few rough years. Sting, if you see him without his face paint, he just looks old. He doesn't look like he's been through the ringer or had some tough years.
Did anybody see when the Young Bucks beat up Sting's sons?
Yes.
Okay. So, you know what my problem with that spot was? So, Sting and Darby win the tag title. Sting's sons come in the ring and celebrate. And then the Young Bucks come in with baseball bats and beat up everybody. Sting's sons dwarfed the Young Bucks. And it wasn't even close.
Yeah. They actually, to be honest with you, they so look like the Blade Runners. His sons looked.
They were jacked dudes.
The one son looks like Warrior, to be honest with you, and like the other son looks like him. It was uncanny. I'd look double take, and I was like, went back, watched the video, and was like, wow, man, they look like the Warrior and Sting back in the day.
That's what I said about. That's what I said about the Iron Claws kids. Those kids are jacked, bro. Like, bring those guys in. What the hell, dude?
Why aren't they working somewhere?
Oh, the Von
I know
Erich
they're
kids?
a little green. What was that, James?
The Von Erich kids, you mean?
Yeah. Kevin's kids.
Yeah.
Do you know why they don't have jobs anywhere?
No idea.
Well, they live in Hawaii with their dad, but they've wrestled. They wrestled in his last match. They could work.
Right? They could take a trip.
Yeah, they could work. I don't know why anybody hasn't. I mean, this would be a really good time media wise to. I mean, the movie's doing great, or you're going to lose this buzz if they don't get signed soon. I don't think they're going to, but it's whatever. They're huge, bro. They're like one of those kids are like Breaker size. Like they're big, bro.
Right. If Tony Khan can pay to fly people over from Japan to wrestle his shows, we can get people from Hawaii. I mean, that's comparable, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, he paid to fly over a Japanese potato to wrestle John Moxley. Sorry, I pronounce Oshii weird. Or Ishii.
These old wrestling fans want to see these sons get over too. Like how much would a Flying Brian's kid get over? You know, like he's doing well.
He didn't.
People like him.
They buried him.
Right.
They had everybody beat him. They had Flying Brian's kid in AEW.
Well, aren't you guys excited? I mean, what's his name should be coming back soon. Jungle Boy,
Jungle Jack. The guy who killed their business, deader than a doornail.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like you've got really small wrestlers in AEW. A lot of smaller guys. They don't have like.
AEW continues on this path, though. How long do you think they have? I know Tony Khan's got money, but still, But still,
how long will TBS and TNT let them on their air? Is because the ratings aren't good.
I mean, they're getting
beat by reruns of the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, but the Big Bang Theory is a really good show,
and it makes money.
I realize it makes money, but when the Big Bang Theory leads into AEW, there's 1 million people, and 15 minutes later, there's 800,000. That means 200,000 people said, "You know what? I was good with Sheldon. Now I'm leaving."
That I'm one of those 200,000.
Yeah,
I don't
Sheldon
know.
Cooper is the most popular AEW wrestler.
There's one key component out there floating around. I don't know how much he would like to. Maybe he's not in the mood to battle WWE. I don't know why, but my boy Dolph, dude. If Dolph was in AEW right now, bro, it would be something. He's in TNA. I've seen him in an indie in like a high school gym. I haven't seen him in.
Yeah, that's probably TNA.
High school gym.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see him in AEW on top. I love Dolph. I think Dolph's one of the greatest wrestlers in the last generation. I don't care.
God, Jungle Boy in WWE. I don't think they'd sign him. I don't think they'd care. That guy's an idiot. He doesn't want to be a wrestler. I'd say let him go live off of his inheritance or whatever he's made off Tony Khan. I know he's working Japan right now. They've loaned him there. I don't care to ever see him on my TV again.
Back into the ring for a match.
I tell you what, TM, you ever send me books I paid you for taped together individually? You can have a match with me.
I'm the special referee.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well for you, bro. If I'm anal about one thing, it's the freaking house books are shipped.
Oh, my God. 2 by 2. My comics went marching 2 by 2. Hurrah.
Hurrah.
Deal, he says. Blue Hellion Comics, welcome. Pop, I think we got one more in here, don't we? And then we'll... Too predictable. No, that was it. I will see if I can pull something up real quick. While I do this, Alan and Biggie, if you guys haven't got to talk a lot, if you have anything wrestling related to talk about, hit us with it.
Go ahead, Alan. I always like to let the new guys in.
Oh no, I just read Papa Willie's comment. They sent Jungle Boy to Japan for a timeout.
So James, if you got anything to say, it's your first time on, dude. Let her rip, man.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to hopefully seeing the Y6 in NXT or at Perth. That's all. And maybe Hogan one more match. I'd really, really like to see Hogan win the over-the-top Andre the Giant Battle Royal and then quit. Just the thought.
Are you trolling me right now? Because it's been so long, dude. Don't play with my emotions, man.
Think about it, and then at the end he throws out someone like Almas.
I'm all about Hogan return and in the ring. I would love to see it. Yeah, man. He started it
because then he doesn't have to get pinned. He doesn't. All he's got to do is toss people out. No leg.
How about How about the wrestling video game where he says, "I started the story, brother"? I'm like, yeah.
Well, he's got one more match in him.
Oh yeah,
I'd love to see it at Philly. It makes so much sense having him in one match at,
I don't think Hulk can get in the ring.
He's training right now, bro.
Alan, don't make an enemy of Biggie.
He's been training for the last month.
He's old. And when you're as large as
you don't think the guy that's done it 17,000 times can do it one more time? I don't know, man. I think the math's rolling up against you pretty bad there. But that's cool.
Look, it was a joke, but I understand that he's most likely able to do it. He's really up there in age, man, and he'd have to do a lot to get in shape to get to where he can even compete and actually make it a show.
Well, Stone Cold drew millions, and he had a broken neck as a slugger. So, I mean, I think Hogan can slug a couple punches out. I'm not too worried about that.
For a month or two, he'd be fine.
But I mean, do you want to? So, if Hogan's in a match, right? Any match, doesn't matter what it is. If he's in a match, last match, right? And it's absolutely abysmal. You sure that's the way you want him to go out?
Well, as of right now, the last match was. Yeah, that's what we have as of right now. So I'd absolutely like to take a chance. Look, if Cody don't get the belt and Roman keeps it, we're going to see a very higher percentile of what my dreams could be. You know, like now if Cody wins it.
Think about it. Hogan at WrestleMania 40, he's at WrestleMania 1, and then he comes back and then he wins and then quits. It'd be epic.
It would be something. I'm not sure I'd want him to get the belt because it'd be too much good in my life. But
no belt, just the Battle Royal. Andre the Giant Battle Royal makes more sense.
Yeah, I'd be overwhelmed with goodness.
To buy a Hulk belt.
So I do have a topic, but real quick, I just want to acknowledge that I did see Geek Out with Roscoe said that in our match with TM, he would come to the ring with a chair. Okay, tag team match, the In-Between the Liners versus the Hucklebuck Express. And I like this because I'm just going to match up with Roscoe. Because we're both men that have physical ailments. So we'll just sit in chairs eating chicken wings together, kind of going like that, just gently slapping each other, and you and TM can kill each other.
TM, you're done.
I think that'd be awesome. Like Alan and TM going at it. And
I'm just gonna
me and Roscoe just doing this while we're eating chicken.
Seriously,
wings.
I'm just gonna Yokozuna my ass on him like multiple times.
Just
like that's all it's gonna be.
Just sit on TM. And Blue Hellion wants to be the ref. All right, here's our topic. We have a new season of Dark Side of the Ring coming up. Here are the people that will be featured, the stories. And some of them make me wonder what they're going to talk about. And some are really obvious. So the first one is Brutus Beefcake. Any thoughts?
I mean,
well, they'll talk about him crushing his face, and then they'll talk about the early years, you know, of him being a bodybuilder and being found at Venice Beach, and then transitioning over to wrestling.
What was his first name? Do you guys remember?
Yo, I just seen that thing 2 days ago, but I can't remember.
It was something Hogan. It was like Biff Hogan or something. It was weird.
He was his cousin.
He was like his brother cousin. Yeah. He had a weird name, Hogan. It was very. And then he met up with Hogan, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm not Hogan no more." But
he was Buff Hogan.
What about the alleged gay stuff with Hogan? Anybody ever heard that rumor?
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody heard about it.
Credible to it.
Yeah, Hogan's wife said it, by the way.
Yeah, but she's
but I don't believe her.
And I mean, realistically, think about them wrestlers doing drugs in the 80s, brother. Times were tough, brother. You know, just two guys helping each other out through hard times.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Brutus was a sexy looking guy.
You dropped something there, brother. Let me get that for you.
They didn't call him Beefcake for nothing, dude.
Exactly.
And Biggie wins the count of the night.
And Biggie wins.
All right. Up next, Harley Race. That'll be one I want to see.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
The Kings. That guy was a tough dude, from what I heard.
I heard
he used to carry a big gun with him, and he was like an old school type of wrestler. But I loved Harley Race. I just remember having his little toy with the crown. You know, I knew him as the King. I didn't know Jerry Lawler as the King until after he had come to WWE.
Oh yeah, the King of Memphis Wrestling.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to learn about because I'm pretty sure he was. I don't know if he was in the West Coast underground part, because I know they were all in little group factions before, little theater wrestling companies.
Yeah, the territories.
Yeah.
Harley had St. Louis and Kansas City.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yep. Which is where I'm at.
Nice.
Central States Wrestling, which is the local show I go to. And we just had a show this past weekend. That was originally owned by, well, at one point in its history, it was owned by Harley Race.
Oh, nice.
In the 60s, or late 50s, early 60s, our champion here of the Central States Wrestling heavyweight champ was a guy named Lenny Montana, who would go on to become an actor and actually played Luca Brasi in The Godfather.
Oh, crazy.
All right, up next, we've got Buff Bagwell. That's going to be an episode.
Mandingo. Yeah, I'm Buff and I'm the stuff.
Trash. I mean, he was trash.
No calves.
Yeah, no calves. I mean, seriously.
Will we finally find out if Buff was indeed the stuff? And
you just see a guy with no calves doing the helicopter. You're like, there he is.
Well, Buff. I mean, we will for sure know that he was a male prostitute, I would say, by the end of that episode.
Oh yeah, it's open. I mean, he's gone through. I think he even went to. Didn't he try to go to DDP's to clean up?
Oh, good. Sure probably.
He was looking pretty gnarly about a year ago, bro. He had meth holes and all that stuff. So yeah, he went down.
Yeah, no, he was selling his buff and the stuff. Doing a little bit of strange for some change, but I think that from what I heard, he cleaned up and went to DDP's. I'm pretty sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then in that vein, another one guaranteed to be a good story, Kurt Angle.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to depend, because I'm pretty sure that I hope that they go into all the abuse stuff, that he did it on himself.
Kurt Angle, right? Kurt Angle.
Yep. Yep. Because, that stuff, more people need to know about that kind of stuff. And if he's willing to talk about it, I mean, a lot more people would be willing to listen and watch. So good on him.
Here's an interesting one. Chris Adams.
The gentleman.
Wow. Huh. Well, he'll be good, because wasn't he Austin's partner at one point?
Yeah, he trained Austin.
Right.
Yeah,
he was for Fritz Von Erich back in early 80s.
They say Flair kind of used his gimmick a little bit. I guess. I don't know. I'd say Flair was before him, but
after Chris Adams, the next week is Sandman.
Oh, that's gonna be full of alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, probably the most ECW guy there was. I don't know if his gimmick would have worked anywhere else.
Not as well.
It didn't work in WCW, that's for sure. What was he called there? Hack?
Hack. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
He actually had barbed wire as his freaking. That was his gimmick. He wore barbed. It's like, why do you do this every week? You fucking tool. Like,
yeah, for a Saturday afternoon show. Probably not the best use of your health. And then finally, to round out the season, Black Saturday, when Vince McMahon purchased Georgia Championship Wrestling to get access to the TBS time slot in 1984. And Vince is damn lucky they didn't go make these episodes a few months later, because he'd have been in a 10-part series.
You know what his first pay-per-view investment was, bro? Before WrestleMania 1.
What?
It was the jump of the gorge with Evil Knievel, bro. He lost a big money
event.
Back
in that?
Oh yeah, that was his first thing. He lost big on that.
What's up, Dana? What's up, Soul Twice?
So interesting.
Comics.
It failed miserably. It didn't get the money he thought he'd get. But yeah, didn't they like do an hour of? That's why they call it Black Sunday or something, because it was like an hour of black television or something. Like there was nothing but black
thought
screen.
It was called Black Saturday because it killed a lot of territory. Well, it killed Georgia, but it also kind of screwed over Bill Watts's business and a lot of other people. And then Vince was able to finance because, you know, at this point he wasn't as cash strapped, you know, as you might think. He was hurting for money, and he sold the rights he bought from Georgia Championship for $1 million to Charlotte. Somebody help me with the name.
Jarrett?
Charlotte?
No,
yeah,
Charlotte
Jarrett,
Champion or
the Carolinas?
Yeah, the Carolina territory. What's the name of the family that owns that?
Zabisco?
Owned it. What?
Was it Zabisco's?
No.
Not the Jarretts.
No, that's Memphis. Crockett Promotions. Thank you.
Oh, good
Blue
Lord.
Hellion. Jim Crockett Promotions bought the rights to TBS television from Vince McMahon for $1 million. And it assured the WWF's feature. And it turned out Jim Crockett didn't have as much money as he thought because he never really did a full accounting of his books. And when they pulled everything back, it turned out he was nearly broke.
Well, we touched a lot of obscure info in this episode. I'm pretty proud of this episode. James Willie did fantastic, and Comic Viking, Alan, I think you guys are great additions, and I appreciate you guys. And Becker, as usual.
Yeah, much love, man. It was
And
great
Biggie,
having
putting everybody over.
Papa's invited me a few times. I've just conflicting schedules. I'm a dad full time, so obviously when the wife's working late, I'm doing double duties. So that's why you don't see me in very many auctions. But it was really good talking about wrestling.
Dude, thanks for coming. Welcome back anytime. I know for sure. I know Pop's been trying, like you said, he's been trying to get you on. Anybody want to promote anything? We're past the 1 hour mark, so we're gonna wrap it up here.
I got something. So I'll be on Allen's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Comic Collector Geek. Hanging out with Big B. We had a match on All Sorts of Words. You can go vote for it if you like on Community tab. Vote for the books you like and who did the best promos. And I put a post on Instagram. My friend Papa Willie has been trying to get to 1K for about as long as I've known him, and we've been stuck 20 subs away. So I'd really appreciate if anybody out there would push to try to get my boy over 1,000. So that's what I got.
You can see Alan and I on the Hucklebuck every Tuesday. We had a live this week. We might do another one. I'll talk to him about it. We might have a reason to go live soon. And Blue Hellion wants to promote me. No, I don't have good looks. Thank you to the chat. Thanks to everybody that showed up tonight and left a comment. Even Marcus. James Willie, you got anything to promote, my dude?
Yeah, just come check me out on RJW's Invasion every Sunday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We usually run till about 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Other than that, you can catch me on a bunch of different random auctions. Hopefully soon I'm going to probably get on Papa's too. It's just Saturdays I'm usually really busy because my daughter's schedule and her friend are always busy. So I'm always busy because the wife usually has to work sometimes on Saturdays. So you guys know how it goes. But yeah, just come check me out on Sundays. We just actually celebrated. We had our 1 year anniversary the other day, so we've been going a year strong on Sundays, and then we just had the 500 sub for Geeky on Tuesday. So we've been pumping that pretty good. But other than that, you can look forward to getting some content from me soon too. I'm going to start doing some unboxings and getting that stuff going on my own page. So much love to you all, and definitely I'm going to try to come back next Thursday.
Thanks, James. Pop, you got anything to tell the people about for your channel besides like and subscribe?
We're going on Who Dat's auction. Me, Pop, Bleeker, and K-Pop. I think it's Saturday, so he'll be there.
This Saturday?
I believe so.
I'm washing my hair.
Okay.
No, I'll be there.
No problem.
I'll come check it out. I got nothing going.
Oh, no pressure, man.
All right, guys, that's it for us, Pop. You can kill this anytime you want. And big thanks again to Biggie. He said some really nice stuff about everybody. I had a great time tonight. And Biggie, check him out for some deals, folks, because he is on his way to a Hulk 181.
Yeah, by hook or by crook, dude. We'll get there somehow. Thank you for that.